Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
You ready to dive in?
I am.
All right, today
Let's do it.
we are tackling a topic that's got the whole business world buzzing.
Yeah.
The switch from Google's Universal Analytics
Oh, yeah.
to the shiny new Google Analytics 4,
Yeah.
or GA4 as the cool kids call it.
GA4, that's the one.
This might sound like a tech headache at first, but stick with us.
Yeah.
We're using a blog post from Now Technology Systems, an Australian company
Okay.
that lives and breathes this stuff to help us understand why this transition is actually a golden opportunity for businesses, especially those down under.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I first heard about GA4, I thought, oh, great, another platform to learn.
Ugh, yeah.
But as I dug deeper, I realized this isn't just an upgrade. It's a whole new way of thinking about data.
Okay, so help us wrap our heads around this.
Right.
Why is Google shaking things up?
Yeah.
What's the big deal with GA4?
Well, one of the biggest factors is how GA4 tracks user behavior. It's moved away from the old system of just looking at website visits to focusing on specific actions users take,
Okay.
what they call events.
So instead of just seeing that someone landed on my website, I can now see what they actually did while they were there.
Exactly. Did they watch a product demo video? Did they download a guide? Did they scroll all the way down that super informative blog post you spent hours crafting?
Wow.
GA4 tells you that, giving you a much richer picture of how people interact with your business online.
That makes sense. But hold on. They can track things like how far someone scrolls down a page.
Mm-hmm.
That seems intense.
It might seem that way at first,
Yeah.
but think about the possibilities.
Okay.
Let's say you notice a lot of people drop off at a certain point in your sales page.
Right.
That's a clear sign that something needs tweaking. Maybe the text is too dense or the call to action isn't clear enough.
Yeah.
GA4 helps you pinpoint those problem areas so you can optimize your website for better engagement and ultimately more conversions.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool. So GA4 is all about giving businesses a more detailed view of what their customers are doing online. But isn't there also a big privacy angle to all of this?
Absolutely. Privacy is a huge concern these days, especially in Australia with its strong data protection laws.
Right.
GA4 has been designed with privacy in mind from the ground up.
So it's not just about collecting data,
Right.
but about collecting it responsibly.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. GA4 is actually built to function in a world where those pesky third-party cookies are becoming a thing of the past.
Okay.
You remember, they're the ones that track your browsing activity across different websites.
Yeah, those always kind of creep me out.
Well, GA4 is moving away from that model, relying more on first-party data.
Okay.
The information users directly provide to your business. This means businesses can still get valuable insights while respecting user privacy and staying compliant with regulations.
So it's a win-win for businesses and users. But I have to admit, all this talk about data and tracking makes my head spin a little. Can we take a step back and talk about the practical side of things?
Sure.
What are some of the key differences between UA and GA4 that businesses really need to know?
One of the most obvious changes is the interface. GA4 has a completely new look and feel,
Okay.
which might take some getting used to. But the good news is that it's also much more customizable.
Right.
You can tailor the dashboards and reports to focus on the specific metrics that matter most to your business, rather than being bombarded with a bunch of data you'll never use.
So it's less about trying to give you every single data point under the sun and more about helping you hone in on what's actually useful.
Exactly. And that ties in perfectly with the event-based tracking we talked about earlier. Remember, GA4 is all about understanding those specific user actions. So instead of just seeing that someone visited your website, you can now track how many people added items to their shopping cart, how many started filling out a contact form, or even how many clicked on that Book Now button on your services page.
Now, that's the kind of data that can actually help a business grow.
Right.
It's not just numbers on a screen. It's telling you what people are actually doing and how they're interacting with your brand.
Right. And the beauty of it is that you can then use that data to make informed decisions. Are people dropping off at a certain point in your checkout process? Maybe you need to simplify the form. Are they not clicking on a particular call to action?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to revisit the design or the wording. GA4 gives you the insights you need to make those strategic adjustments and optimize your entire online presence.
Okay, I'm starting to see the power of this.
Right.
But what about businesses that have both a website and a mobile app?
Right.
Does GA4 have anything to offer them?
That's another area where GA4 really shines.
Yeah.
It excels at what's called cross-platform tracking, which allows you to follow the customer journey across multiple devices.
So if someone browses products on my website on their laptop and then later makes a purchase through my app on their phone, I can actually see That whole sequence of events.
Exactly. This is incredibly valuable for businesses that want to understand how their customers are interacting with them across different touch points. Are people discovering you through social media?
Yeah.
Then visiting your website on their desktop, and finally making a purchase on their mobile device.
Okay.
GA4 helps you connect those dots and get a complete picture of the customer journey.
That's a game changer. I mean, it's one thing to see that someone bought something, but it's a whole other level to understand the path they took to get there.
Right. And that understanding can be incredibly powerful when it comes to optimizing your marketing efforts. You can see which channels are most effective, which campaigns are driving conversions, and how people are actually moving through your sales funnel.
This is all starting to make sense. But I have to admit, I'm a little nervous about the learning curve. Moving to a whole new platform can be daunting, especially for busy business owners who are already juggling a million things.
I hear you. But the good news is that there are tons of resources available to help Australian businesses make the transition to GA4 as smooth as possible. In fact, we can dive into those in the next part of our deep dive.
Perfect, because I'm already starting to see how powerful GA4 can be. But I definitely need some guidance on how to actually put it into practice.
We'll cover all that and more after the break.
All right, so we've established that GA4 is pretty awesome, but also potentially a bit overwhelming. You mentioned there are resources out there to help us navigate this whole thing.
Absolutely.
What?
In fact, that's exactly what. Now, Technology Systems emphasizes in their blog post getting started early and taking advantage of the support that's out there.
Makes sense. Don't wait until the last minute and then panic, right?
Yeah.
Right. One of the best things about GA4 is that you can actually run it alongside your existing universal analytics setup. That way you can start getting familiar with the new interface, explore the different features, and see how the data compares without disrupting your current analytics flow.
So it's like a test drive before you fully commit.
Exactly. And speaking of testing, GA4 gives you a lot more flexibility to customize your tracking and reporting. You can create custom events to track specific actions that are important to your business, like signing up for a newsletter or downloading a white paper. You're not limited to just the standard metrics that Google provides.
That's pretty cool. It's like having a tailor-made analytics suit instead of one that's off the rack.
I like that analogy. And here's another thing I find fascinating about GA4. It's designed to be much more future-proof. The digital landscape is constantly changing with new privacy regulations, new technologies, and new ways for people to interact with businesses online.
It's hard enough to keep up as it is.
I know, right? But GA4 is built to adapt to those changes. For example, we talked earlier about the shift away from third-party cookies. Well, GA4 is already ahead of the game on that front, using machine learning and other advanced techniques to fill in the gaps and provide accurate data without relying on those soon-to-be extinct cookies.
So GA4 is not just about catching up, it's about getting ahead of the curve.
Precisely. It's about giving businesses the tools they need to thrive in a digital world that's only going to get more complex and more data-driven.
Okay. I'm definitely feeling more excited than intimidated now. But let's get back to those resources you mentioned. Where can Australian businesses go to get started with GA4?
Well, the good news is there are options for everyone, whether you prefer to DIY or get expert guidance. Google itself offers a ton of free resources, including online courses, help articles, and even a demo account where you can play around with GA4 without affecting your real data.
That's a relief. I always learn best by actually getting my hands dirty. What about more personalized support?
There are plenty of options for that as well. Now, Technology Systems, for example, offers consulting services specifically for Australian businesses. They can help you with everything from setting up your GA4 account to creating custom reports to training your team on how to use the platform effectively.
So if you're feeling a bit lost, there are experts who can hold your hand through the process.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of community. There are tons of online forums, Facebook groups, and LinkedIn communities dedicated to GA4 where you can connect with other businesses, ask questions, share tips, and learn from each other's experiences.
It's like having a whole network of data nerds at your fingertips.
It really is. And that kind of peer-to-peer support can be invaluable when you're navigating a new platform and trying to figure out what works best for your business.
You know, it's funny. We started this conversation talking about all the technical stuff, but now I'm realizing that GA4 is about so much more than just data. It's about community. It's about sharing knowledge, and it's about empowering businesses to make smarter decisions.
I couldn't agree more. And that brings us to one of the most exciting aspects of GA4, its focus on predictive analytics.
Oh, yeah, we touched on that earlier. The whole AI thing is pretty mind-blowing.
It really is. GA4 uses machine learning to analyze your data and identify patterns that humans might miss. This allows it to make predictions about future outcomes, like which customers are most likely to make a purchase, which products are likely to be popular, or even when you might see a surge in website traffic.
So it's like having a crystal ball for your business.
In a way, yes, but instead of relying on magic, it's powered by data and algorithms. And here's the best part. GA4 is designed to make those predictive insights accessible to businesses of all sizes. You don't need a huge data science team to unlock the power of AI.
That's really cool. It's like democratizing data analytics and making it available to everyone, not just the big players.
Exactly. And that's why I'm so excited about GA4. It's not just a technical upgrade. It's a potential game changer for businesses that are willing to embrace the power of data.
I'm starting to feel like we're just scratching the surface here. There's so much to explore with GA4.
There really is. And in the final part of our deep dive, we'll take a closer look at some of the specific benefits and applications of GA4, especially for businesses here in Australia.
Perfect, because I'm already itching to see how we can put all of this knowledge into action. Now, we've covered a lot of ground in our deep dives into GA4, from the reasons behind the shift to the privacy angle, the new features, and even a little AI magic.
It's been a journey.
But let's get down to brass tacks. How can Australian businesses actually use this new platform to their advantage?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And luckily, GA4 offers a whole toolkit of features that can help businesses understand their customers, better make smarter decisions, and ultimately grow their bottom line.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
Give me the highlights.
Well, one of the most powerful aspects of GA4 is its ability to track the entire customer lifecycle. It's not just about seeing individual touch points, but about understanding the complete journey a customer takes with your business from the moment they first discover you to hopefully becoming a loyal, repeat customer.
So instead of just seeing snapshots, we're now watching the full movie, right?
Exactly. And that gives you incredible insights into what's working and what's not. Are people dropping off at a certain point in the funnel? Are they engaging with your email marketing campaigns? Are they coming back for more after their first purchase? GA4 helps you answer those questions and identify the key drivers of customer engagement and retention.
It's huge. It's like having a roadmap to customer loyalty.
It really is. And speaking of maps, GA4 also provides a much more detailed picture of how people are finding you online.
Okay.
It goes beyond just basic traffic sources and gives you a deeper understanding of the customer acquisition process.
So I can see not just that someone came from Google, but maybe even what specific keywords they use to find my website.
Exactly. And that level of granularity can be incredibly valuable when it comes to optimizing your marketing campaigns and making sure you're reaching the right people with the right message at the right time.
Now, that's what I call targeted marketing.
And here's another thing that Australian businesses will appreciate. GA4 is built to help you measure the ROI of your marketing efforts. It's not just about vanity metrics like website visits or social media likes.
Yeah.
It's about understanding which activities are actually driving conversions and generating revenue.
So it's about proving the value of your marketing efforts, not just showing activity.
Exactly. And that's crucial for any business, but especially for small businesses that need to make every dollar count. GA4 gives you the data you need to justify your marketing spend and make sure you're investing in the strategies that deliver the best results.
That's music to any business owner's ears. But all of this sounds incredibly powerful and maybe even a little intimidating.
Sure.
What advice would you give to Australian businesses that are just starting their GA4 journey?
Well, first and foremost, don't panic. It's a new platform, yes, but it's not rocket science. And remember, you don't have to go it alone.
Good point. We talked earlier about all those resources that are available.
Exactly. Google has tons of free training materials. There are online courses and webinars galore. And there are even Australian companies like Now Technology Systems that specialize in helping businesses implement and leverage GA4.
So whether you're a DIYer or you prefer to have a guide, there's a path for everyone.
Absolutely. And here's my biggest piece of advice. Start exploring. Dive into the platform, play around with the different features, and see what insights you can uncover. The beauty of GA4 is that it's incredibly flexible and customizable.
So there's no right or wrong way to use it?
Not necessarily.
No.
The key is to tailor it to your specific business needs and goals. What questions are you trying to answer? What challenges are you trying to solve? Let those be your guiding principles as you navigate the world of GA4.
That's great advice. And I think it echoes what we've been saying throughout this deep dive. Data is only as valuable as the insights we derive from it. It's not about collecting numbers for the sake of it. It's about using those numbers to tell a story, to understand our customers, and to make better decisions.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And that's why I'm so excited about the potential of GA4, especially for businesses here in Australia. It's a powerful tool that can help businesses of all sizes thrive in the digital age.
I think it's safe to say that we've both gone from GA4 skeptics to full-fledged enthusiasts.
Definitely. It's
Oh.
been a fascinating journey, and I'm excited to see how businesses continue to innovate and leverage the power of data in the years to come.
And who knows what other exciting advancements are just around the corner. Well, folks, that wraps up our deep dive into GA4. We hope you've enjoyed the journey and feel empowered to dive into the world of data with confidence.
And remember,
Until next time,
the future of data is here.
keep diving deep.